Digital Clock as we look at the work of youth in Africa that has been in dialogue around very important conversations on the African continent. The idea of African unity is being tested once again, not in political speeches this time around, but in the everyday experiences of people that are navigating migration, identity, and a sense of belonging. This week, Youth in Africa brought together young leaders from across the African region for a dialogue that they titled Standing Resilient Against Xenophobic Narratives in Africa. The discussion comes amid renewed tensions involving foreign nationals here in South Africa and growing questions about the state of Pan-African unity. Let's have a conversation now with Sarah Munyi, who is joining me in her capacity as President of Youth in Africa, to unpack the conversation and what it means for the future of African solidarity at this time. Sarah, wonderful to catch up with you. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. Always happy to join in. Greetings from Nairobi.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Standing resilient against xenophobic narratives in Africa is such an important theme, I want to say. So let's talk about the conversation that was held yesterday. How was the idea of African unity framed in this particular context? Talk to us about what came about.
Yes, we actually had a very engaging conversation. We had youth, we had participants from many countries across the African continent, some abroad. And African unity, it is a big thing. It is espoused in the Agenda 2063 of the African Union. And I don't think we can live in peace if there's no unity. So the first thing that came about is we need to be very careful when we speak about unity, because what exactly are we uniting? What are we uniting when we speak of unity? If you look at the underlying cause of what we are talking about, the narrative around xenophobia, and now there's this new label, Afrophobia, is lack of opportunity. Lack of opportunity. And when there is lack of opportunity or little or no opportunities and people are scrambling for this, then the idea of unity, when we are all scrambling and fighting, then, we can forget about unity, really, when people are struggling. So we had to identify the leading cause of all of this narrative. It's lack of opportunity. And so we need to be careful. What exactly are we uniting? Let us make sure that I take care of my house, you take care of your house. When we come together, we can come and meet in strength, other than coming to meet in poverty. We are coming to meet, I have my issues, you have your issues. We may not help each other much.
I want us to stay on that particular note, Sarah, because I think what you're raising is fundamental, and one of the issues that are central to what we are seeing unfold on the African continent, just to use what's happening in South Africa as an example. To what extent do economic pressures and uneven opportunities contribute to how we see one another? And I want to make this a twofold question in terms of how how your forum, as it were, the Youth in Africa space, was able to navigate that conversation, because that's quite a big one.
Well, I want to say, yeah, you're right. Economic realities play a significant role here. One, there's high unemployment across the continent. That's one of the things that, if you are going to tell any head of state, I have a plan that can help you be able to create 5,000 jobs in 6 months. Oh, they're running to you. So high unemployment, inequality, there's competition for scarce resources. So yes, we have uneven opportunities. But for me, I don't think that what was coming out is that the fact that I don't have a job, you are in my country here in Kenya, I'm a Kenyan and I don't have a job, but you are a foreigner, you come to Kenya and you don't have a job. It is not your fault as a foreigner that I don't have a job. We have leaders that we vote for. We have leaders that we vote for who come and tell us that we are going to create the right environment so that there's job creation and all of that. Hold the leaders accountable. That is what was coming out. Hold your leaders accountable in your countries. Before, you started out with your leaders. instead of sorting it out with your fellow brother, with your fellow foreigner who seems to be doing well in your country. So uneven opportunities is not a fault of a foreigner. Sort it out with your leaders, because they're the ones who should be, you voted for them, they're the ones who should be making sure that everybody has an opportunity to grow and build the country.
Okay. I mean, are we largely seeing that, because what you're raising is very important? Is there misdirected anger and frustration that's going on, where we are, sort of taking it out, just to use a loose English term, taking out our frustrations on the wrong people? And what responsibility do we have then in leadership, in the media, in public voices, in being able to reinforce that there's certain spaces where we can redirect or direct this particular anger and frustration, as it were?
Yes, the anger and frustration, I think, first of all, it's important that we speak it out. It's important that we speak it out. And there are the channels. In every of our countries, there are the right channels to address that. And that's why, for me, the first place we need to look at our leaders. Let us talk to our leaders. Why do we have unemployment levels all the way up to 50%, all the way up to 60% in the country? What is causing that? And yet you tell us that every day, oh, the GDP of Kenya is growing by, I don't know, in double digits. The GDP of South Africa is growing by double digits, but we do not see that translating into actual opportunities that, for me, I can say, well, I've benefited from this, from this growth. So there are those channels, I believe, we can hold our leaders accountable. That's the first thing. That's what was coming out. And then the second thing I want to say is, if, for example, let me use this analogy. If I come to your house, this is Mmatsheko, if I come to your house,
right, and
you put me together with your children, you give me equal opportunities with your children, then after a while, I become arrogant. I think that, oh yeah, I can do whatever I want. I don't observe the rules in your house. Naturally, what's going to happen? What's going to be the natural course of events? I should be ready to face whatever consequences there is. So if I come to your house, I need to know I am a visitor here. And even if you've welcomed me very well, the respect must be there. The honor must be there. And so that we can live together and work together in peace.
Well, here we are. I mean, the questions are there. There are big questions, elephants in the room that we're trying to address. And I've really got to commend the president of Youth in Africa, who joins me on the line, Sarah Munyi, on the work that they're doing, really sitting in dialogue and unpacking the conversation and asking the questions around, is the idea of African unity largely aspirational? Or are we actually getting somewhere with this particular narrative? We're going to take a break and return.
Start your day right with Channel Africa Breakfast.
That smells delicious.
Live, 5 days a week.
The Upside with Poppy Jongwana and Mmatsheko Mosito.
I have one question for you.
Oh, this question that you keep asking.
Would you rather be alone than be unhappy? We have our golden girl. She released a new song, You Won't Be Back. Miss Karen White.
You've been here so many times. We love to have you. What is bringing you back? What are you expecting this time around?
Well, what's bringing me back is the love. South Africa continues to hold me, and I love it, and I'm thankful. I tell people that you guys chose me, and I don't take it for granted.
It's something we were joking about earlier, that your Sunday only started when Superwoman by Karen White started playing.
I'm so grateful for that, because it's such a special honor, to the music, to the legacy, and just to empowerment for women. I love the fact that it's been handed down, and it's a tradition.
The Upside with Mmatsheko Mosito and Poppy Jongwana. Catch it on the Channel Africa app. Weekdays from 3 to 6 Central African Time. Keep Africa in your hands. Connect to our website for all your news, sports, and cultural updates. channelafrica.co.za. The Journal with Mmatsheko Mosito. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus, and on channelafrica.co.za. Weekdays from 9 till 12 p.m. Central African Time.
21 minutes into 11 a.m. in Central African Time. It's already way past midday in East African Time. Thank you very much for tuning in. It is a pleasure to have you here on the Journal as we look at, themes discussed under a dialogue by Youth in Africa that they titled Standing Resilient Against Xenophobic Narratives in Africa. And on the line with me is the President of Youth in Africa, Sarah Munyi. Sarah, let's talk about the dialogue that took place once again. I want to get an understanding of which countries actually participated, because I want to get a sense of the various experiences and contexts that were reflected in the broader migration and African unity conversations. I don't want us just to focus on South Africa. Who else was involved in the dialogue?
Oh, we had Zimbabweans, we had Mozambicans, we are trying to translate. We had Malawians, we had Kenyans, Ghanaians, we had Ethiopians, Nigerians. I mean, it was a buffet of everybody, Congolese. So it was everybody really. This and for me, I was really excited because that is Pan-Africanism. People are concerned. We are concerned. If there's a problem, one part of the continent, all of us are concerned. There were French-speaking countries, Benin. Who were there, Morocco, so we were trying to use every language we can, but we had a very fruitful conversation.
Okay. And then what light did the discussion shed on the tensions? I think with this concern, you're obviously trying to fix. And as an organization that is led by young people, the future is ultimately in your hands. So what is some of the key things that you'd like to mention that came up that are urgent to this agenda at this time?
First of all, it's about patriotism, how patriotic, how responsible we should be as Africans. First of all, and that's why we were speaking about the word resilience, because resilience is ownership. It is responsibility. For me as an African, when I see, okay, we have a problem in this area, I'm not going to join the world in, first of all, giving labels. So I'm the one actually spreading the narrative of how there's a lot of Afrophobia in Kenya, there's a lot of Afrophobia in Congo. I'm not going to do that because I know the power of labels. If, for example, my children, children in my house, they have a problem, the neighborhood have a problem with my children, maybe they are causing trouble and all of that, and everybody is calling them a troublemaker, I'm not going to be shouting together with the neighbors and everybody else that, my children are troublemakers. I'm not going to do that. That is part of resilience. I understand there is a problem, and first of all, I'm going to deal with the issue. Let us come together, deal with the issue. But I am going to do whatever I can to push the right narrative, the positive narratives, because there are many things those children are also doing. There are many positive things that are happening that we don't talk about. Unfortunately, Mmatsheko, what happens is we are a society that loves to consume negative news. There's a lot of positive things happening in South Africa. There's a lot of, nobody has talked about all of these years when foreigners have lived there, the contribution, how people are welcomed. I have stayed in South Africa myself. I have stayed in Soweto. I've stayed in Eastern Cape. I've stayed in KZN. I've stayed in different, in Free State. We do not hear the good things about how I was received in Free State, how I was received by South Africans. I slept in their houses in Mthatha. We don't talk about that, and nobody wants to hear about that. Everybody wants to hear the bad news. So let us use every avenue you have. You spoke about media. Let us use the media. Let us use AI to tell the positive stories about Africa. That is patriotism. That is responsibility we have as young Africans and as Pan-Africans. And that is ownership. That is really, really what we must push. Yes, we do have a problem. Let us deal with the problem. I'm sure as long as we can have a conversation, we can have a good result out of it, and we can have peace. With respect, let us respect each other. Let us honor each other. Those borders are there for a reason. And so let us respect. If you come to my house, there are rules in my house. Respect the rules in my house. It is that simple. That it should not be a conversation. It is that simple.
It really is that simple in theory, Sarah, but thank you for that. I think that is wonderful perspective that you're bringing about. We actually are not seeing any of the good news that have come up about, the state of Pan-African unity, because it is there. It is there in bulks, and it's just not,
Yes.
it's not showcased as the violence at this
You
time
know, we
is.
say
Yeah.
if we know we say if the lion does not tell its story, the world will glorify the story of the hunter. So we
Yeah.
are the sleeping lion that needs to tell our stories. We have a lot of beautiful stories to tell about our cohesion and how we have lived together and how we have worked together, fought together, hand in hand to fight common vices in our societies. You know, not thinking about this is a Rwandan, this is a Burundian, this is a Tanzanian. We need to tell those stories more and counter the negative narrative with the positive narrative as we deal with the issue in the house.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I think once again, Sarah, I really just want to commend you. You know, when I listen to how organized you are in your thinking, it gives me so much hope that young people are taking this continent forward, and the mobilization is happening. It is happening. It's currently underway.
Yes.
Where can we go if we want to find out more about youth in Africa? Maybe to join your movement, as it were.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Actually, we do have presence in all the countries
Okay.
across Africa, and you can find us. You can join us. You can find us on Facebook, Youth in Africa, Facebook Youth in Africa, TikTok Youth in Africa. We have a website, www.youthinafrica.org. And basically all the social platforms, Instagram, Youth in Africa, and you'll see our contacts there. We'll be happy to engage with you. And our slogan at Youth in Africa is that Africa must be great in your time. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah Munyi, President of Youth in Africa with the K. Okay, if you want to really find out about the work and how you, as a young person on the African region, can participate in dialogue rather of this level, then I'd encourage you to have a look at their website and their various social media pages. Sarah Munyi, President of Youth in Africa, joining us as we unpack the conversation on the future of African solidarity.
This is